Hi, I'm Mario Guerra, the two-time former mayor of the great city of Downey. And you're listening to Talking Downey with Mario
and Eric.
Hi, and we have a special guest today. We are blessed to be here at the Whole Child. This is their Downey location with the CEO, Constanza Pachon. Pachon. My apologies for that.
Worries.
We've had a chance to get to know each other a lot this morning. So the Whole Child is a very special place. You're going to find out some things this morning about them. It's amazing what they do in our community, but the entire region here of the Southeast. So welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much for bringing me today and for having me as your guest. And yes, I'm very excited to tell you a little bit about the Whole Child, about this facility and what we do for the community, not only in the great city of Downey, but all of Southeast LA County.
Great.
So we're actually recording right now in your new facility in Downey, Florence and Lakewood in that area, which is beautiful inside.
Thank you.
So thank you for having us.
Yeah. Wonderful.
It's
Yes.
about a couple hundred yards west of the oldest McDonald's in the world.
Absolutely. Oldest
so
operating.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the Whole Child.
Definitely. Well, the Whole Child is a non-profit organization that has been around for 65 years now. And we provide mental health, housing, parenting, and nutrition services all across the southeast of LA County to some of the most underserved families and children.
Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that really struck out too, stood out for me looking at your annual report and looking at some of the things. So one that really stood out, that 721 families that were prevented from, because some of the things you do is preventative, from being homeless last year. And I was blown away by that number, just thinking about one or two, let alone that many that you guys had a part in. So how do you attribute that? What do you do?
Definitely. The Whole Child has a robust history on prevention services, both across our mental health and our housing practice, all our practices. In housing, the Whole Child has been trying to work with the many actors in the county that are working towards ending homelessness. We focus exclusively in ending family homelessness. We do not want to see children out in the streets or in cars or in any subpart habitation. We have been working tirelessly for the last 15 years, helping families be rehoused, avoiding evictions. And if you are living in the car, come to us and we're going to help you find a unit and stabilize your life, get a job, and sustain a unit. And in the last 3 years, we have really placed a lot of focus on prevention. So how about we don't catch them at the end when they are already homeless, but we try to catch them earlier, when there's still opportunity to avoid the experience and the trauma of homelessness in children.
Right.
And the efforts are being paying off. And last year was our biggest year in terms of prevention. And as you mentioned, 721 families were prevented from entering the homelessness experience. And that's through a combination of many things. Financial assistance, yes, you're at risk of being evicted. We come in, we help you, and we help you stabilize your life. It's not just about giving a handout, it's about giving a hand up.
Right.
We help you stabilize your life, and then you're going to be able, that after our help, to take over and be stable on yourself. Yeah. But also in talking to the families to help them self-resolve. So we are really, really focused on empowerment. Yeah. We are not here to do everything for you. You need to do your part to get yourself out of this situation, right? You need to put the work in, and we'll help you. So you're resilient, and you're not dependent on the system.
Right.
And that's what we've been trying to do, and the results are showing that.
So, homelessness, obviously, it's a crisis throughout in the state. What's the cause? I know that's kind of a very open-ended question, but why do we see so many homelessness in the area? And also there's a homelessness that we don't see, people living in cars, living in garages. What's the root cause if you had to identify the cause?
It's a very complex question,
Sure.
though, because there are many fundamentals, there are many underlying reasons for homelessness. For families, it is poverty, actually. It's the main reason, is poverty. It's the cost of rent outpacing the salaries. And then emergencies. Any family that is just really making ends meet every month, you have a medical emergency. Mom or dad are out of a job, within 3 months, you will fall homeless. And that's something that many people don't know. Yes, there are issues with mental health, with addiction. Yes, it is out there. But for families, it is mostly poverty.
Wow. So what services you do? You guys, first of all, welcome to this beautiful facility. Most of you don't know this is in Downey. They've only been here. You've been serving the Downey community for decades on there. Yeah, but now I remember being on the city council, and part of the things that the community development grant, it was a very small amount that we used to help. And I used to always wonder, what does the whole child do? Because you were in Whittier, and I got an education back then when I asked the question on there to make sure. But here, why did you choose Downey? And tell us about this Family Access Center. What's here?
Definitely. So this facility in Downey is what we call our housing headquarters, or the Family Access Center. So the Whole Child is the designated agency by the County of LA to filter all families identified as homeless or at risk of homelessness in the southeast region of the county. That means that, again, any family identified as homeless or at risk need to come to the Whole Child. As that, we want to be able to provide not only the financial assistance and job employment and services that we provide to be able to rehouse and keep families housed, but we also want to be able to provide day services. Many of these families, again, they live out of their car, and they don't have where to take a shower, where to take the kids to take a proper shower, to be clean when they go to school. They don't have where to do their laundry that is not costly to them, or where to receive their mail. Again, they're living out of a car. These are things that we take for granted.
Right.
But if you're living out of your car, then you don't have that. And one of the stigma and one of the issues that bring a lot of shame for kids and therefore trauma is the issue with hygiene. If you're living out of your car, you don't have where to take proper showers.
Right.
Your clothes are usually dirty, and then they get bullied at school. So this facility, we decided to invest in a larger facility where we could provide that: the showers, the laundry room, the rest area, computer labs, pantry, mailroom for families, so they can use these services on a daily basis and regain some of that dignity that the homelessness experience takes away from them. Why Downey? Because we were looking for communities that were supportive of these families and of the Whole Child and our efforts to help. And Downey has been a great partner to the Whole Child. And it's also a very central location for the entire region, so it's easy to access for families.
You know, some of those things you just said, again, we don't think about it. We got a tour, and you're right. There are nice showers there, and there's privacy and pantries. I never thought about the computer. You're right. How do they get computers to get stuff from schools, from agencies?
To do homework.
To do homework on there, both the cold and the hot pantry
And
for food.
and for the parents to find a job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Work
no.
on the resume, look for leads. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
No,
cut
no,
you
no.
off.
But what I like about this facility is that it feels very professional. I feel like the families here still maintain their dignity.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's just like a handout. It
Yeah.
feels like very
Yeah.
inviting to be in here. If a family needs your services, do they just call you? Do they need a referral? How do they find out about you?
Families can come to us directly. They can walk up, call us directly. We don't need for them to be referred by a special entity, but we also do get referrals for many partners from TLC, from
here,
Downey,
fine.
from the school districts themselves, from the different other agencies, from the cities as well, the 211 as well. We get many referrals from many different areas, but any family can come to us. And any member of the community, if you know of someone that is at risk of homelessness or experiencing homelessness, refer them to us and we'll reach out to them and help them out.
So one of the things, I read your annual report, and it's just amazing when you see not only the numbers and the impact, and I love how you put it, but it's about families. But, in 2010, you were surveying 3,000 families. Last year, you did 6,200 families. Wow, that's amazing. You more than doubled on there. And I think that the one thing you also mentioned, too, that you're only dealing with families.
Yes.
Because that way, it's just if I'm a single man and homeless on there, you'll help find another referral source for them. But you're dealing with families, so there's no stigma and there's no danger for the family element, if you will.
It is important to, across our practice, to ensure the safety and comfort of the children. And that is paramount for us. At the end, the whole child is neither a mental health or a housing or a nutrition or parenting agency. The whole child is a child agency. Everything we do, any endeavor we take, is for the benefit of children. It is on our name, the whole child. We work to address the many areas that make a child whole. And that's why we truly focus only on families and children.
You touched on this. I think something that we don't talk about enough is how many people are so close to being to experiencing homelessness without maybe even realizing it, because so many people don't have an emergency fund. They don't have the savings, and all it takes is one major incident to push them out. Because even if you're renting, a security deposit is very expensive. And so I think it's really critical what you guys are doing. My question is, a lot of what you do also deals with nutrition and physical activity. How does that go into your mission? Why is that so important to what you do at the Whole Child?
Definitely. And thank you for that question. Nutrition and physical education is our smaller program, but one of our mightiest. Any endeavor of the Whole Child is in response to the need we see in the community. So through the years, we have seen tremendous and alarming increase in child obesity in the communities we serve. And we started looking, how do we work towards helping that epidemic? And we thought, okay, working with schools, because many of the children we serve receive most of their needs at school. Right. How do we work with schools to make sure that there are healthy choices and that the children will be able to understand that they should go for the healthy choices? So we work and we partnered with CalFresh program, and we work with many of the schools in how to set up the school lunch room and then educate the children. Then we also work with the parents and educate the parents on how to cook healthy on a budget. You could still do it only buying out of the 99 store. You could still have a healthy meal. And that's very important for us, because child obesity, people think it's only a physical issue. No, it really transcends, and it affects mental health, because unfortunately overweight children are often bullied, they have low self-esteem, and then that generates low performance in school, and it's a snowball. So it is very important for us that we address that component of how to make a child whole.
Yeah, and I know you work really well. You work with all the school districts, but I know you have a special relationship with Downey Unified School District. So I got to tell you, I mentioned this to you earlier. So Luz Perez, the director there for many, many years. So when I was mayor, she calls me up and she was asking me a question, and we were talking about homeless kids in our school district. And I'm like, we have homeless kids in our school district. How naive of me. This is a while back. And she says, we actually have, at that time, it was something like 103 kids that were homeless. And I'm like, we have 103 kids at Downey Unified out of 20,000. So they're homeless. And she says, yes, it's not your typical homeless like you and I think of, in front of the Ralph's grocery store. It's kids living in cars, like you mentioned, or in garages where 2 or 3 families on there, one little thing away from that. So sometimes we don't think about what homelessness means. And I think your access center here for families is helping alleviate some of those concerns and issues. And I'm amazed. I had not seen your facility, so today I knew you did great things. And I read your thing this week preparing for this. But I'm amazed. And God bless you guys for everything you guys are doing here.
It's a source of pride for Downey.
It is. It should be. But you know what? And hopefully today people will understand that, because we're going to ask some ways that folks can help you guys too. Tell us about your source of funding, though, too. That's a big thing you guys are doing.
But before that, I do want to thank you for bringing to light what we call the invisible homelessness, which does affect mostly children and families. And yes, it is not, you don't see often children sitting in front of the supermarket or on the highway.
Right.
But there are many of them.
Yeah.
Right? One of the reasons why you don't see them as much is because they might be taken away from social services if they are seen around. And that in its own is problematic for them. So it is very important that the community at large does not forget that homelessness is not just the single individuals you see pushing the little cart or just sitting in front of the different venues in the city. There is this whole other swath of people experiencing homelessness that you don't see, and that's mostly children and families. Now, you asked me about
the funding.
The funding sources for the whole child. We work with the county. So the county of LA does fund a lot of the whole child operations. We are funded by the Department of Mental Health, by the Homeless Authority, by the Department of Public Health, and the Department of Public Social Services. But that does not cover everything we need to do. There's a lot of need. And a lot of this funding only covers very specific, direct programmatic services. But to run an organization, you still need your HR, your finance department, right? And that is not covered from our contracted funding with the county. So we are always asking the community for support in many different ways to support the different areas that the county funding does not cover, populations that fall outside of the criteria of the county funding, which is very strict, and to help us continue to be that professional organization that you mentioned, right? To be able to have facilities and staff that are trained and that know how to address a family in the proper way, that they're trauma-informed, culturally sensitive, and all these areas that make the help feel professional, not as a handout. The whole child, our staff, we have about 200 people, and most of them master-level social workers. So it's a very highly specialized workforce out there, passionate in helping our community. And it does take a village to make an organization like the World Child.
You said something earlier, too, that kind of surprised me. When you started looking, we need this and we need that, and okay, maybe we can contract it out. And you're looking at it, and it didn't exist until you put it together. I thought that was fascinating, that some of the things you're doing, that there's no place else you can get it except here.
Yeah, so this region, the southeast of the county, has historically been looked over. When policy and funding is distributed for the county, it always is more focused in the metro LA region, right? And this region really needs to have its own resources. Social services is not just about bringing funding. It's about having footing in the community. The relationships with other organizations to partner together to help these families in need. And that has been an issue for this region, again, because it's often overlooked. So the whole child has always been very proud of our beginnings in these regions. We are very committed to this region. And as we see the need in children, and we don't see the specialized resource for them breed in this region, then we step in and to do it ourselves.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how in Downey, the local area, there's so many nonprofits and groups that want to help. But the whole child is a step above. I mean, this is a professional organization with professional workers who are really helping people. How can the public help the whole child?
Definitely. You know, the public is always welcome to learn about the whole child. I think that's the first thing. Learn about us. Visit our website, www.thewholechild.org. Visit our website so you can learn what we do for the community and find what resonates with you.
This is on their website. I mean, obviously not printed up, but this is on their website, and it's easy to read. But it's like when I first saw it, I was just taken back by the families,
The numbers.
the impact. How many families are housed, how many you serve, and so if nothing else, go there and educate yourself. And it's amazing the numbers what they've done. I
Thank you
blown
so
away.
much.
I didn't know this, and I've known about the whole child, and I've known all about you. And a dear friend, former Mayor Rick Rodriguez, is on your board. Wow. So God bless. I was amazed.
So that what Mary's talking about is our annual report. It's fresh off the press for you, and it is now at our website. And yeah, you could learn about the different ways you can help the whole child. You can volunteer, you can donate to us, and we actually have a wonderful opportunity coming up, actually very related to Downey and this facility. We have a campaign called Good Hearts Giving Hands, and it's a month-long drive to stock up the facility here in Downey with personal hygiene items and supplies for our laundry room. Again, when families come here to utilize the shower, we don't have big shampoos or conditioners that everybody uses. It's not sanitary, it's not the best practice. So we provide them all with small travel size hygiene kits that have all the staples, soap, shampoo, conditioner, shaving, and all that sort of stuff. And they take it with them. We go through them a lot. So we're doing that campaign. We also need towels because we also give them towels, and we need laundry detergent and drying sheets for the laundry room. So we're doing this in the month of October, culminating in the first week of November, which November is National Homelessness Awareness Month, and the first week of November is National Hunger Week. So it all culminates in that week, in which member of the community could come on Saturday, November the 4th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because it's November 2nd through the 4th
the
is the
4th.
days on there. But yeah.
And they can come and assemble these kits for the facility, take a tour of the facility, hear from some of our clients and the impact we do as a community on their lives. So this campaign, again, learn from it. It's Good Hearts Giving Hands. You can learn more about it on our website. And we have many different groups here from the Downey community and Santa Fe Springs and Whittier helping us making sure that this facility is well stocked up for the families that use it.
We're going to put this at the end of our show here, but your organization, I know we have Kiwanis and Rotary, they do this and they're going to do it, but 3 ways your organization can help. You can help donate for pantry food and shower supplies and so forth, or donate personal hygiene, and then help assemble it when you come together. And then, yes, funds are also always appreciated, but this is more specific for that. There's 1,500 families, about 4,000 kids that are going to make use of this here at the Downey Access Facility. So this is important. It's simple. It's easy.
And it's fun.
And it is fun on there. And you feel good, and it's okay to feel good to help others on there. But this gives you a facility, an avenue to be able to do that. So we're going to put this at the end on there and how your team or your organization or you as an individual family, listen, if we have a good roof over our head, we got a clean shower this morning, everything else, we're blessed, right?
Yes.
And yes, but there's others that don't, and this is one way you can help.
You know, I was peeking in the pantry, and it's quality stuff. It's name brand stuff. It's baby formula. It's diapers. It's cereal.
Well, you have a
But
baby,
it's
so you
not-
know how expensive that
It
is.
really is. It's really expensive. And what I appreciated, it wasn't just, the cheap, no name brand that you're just kind of like, it feels like it goes back to the whole dignity thing.
Yes.
It feels like
That
people,
is very important.
they're
for
being
us.
treated
Very,
with
very
respect.
important. Yes,
Yeah.
treated
I
with
appreciate it.
respect. Again, homelessness is highly traumatic, especially for children. Highly traumatic. Just imagine yourself, if from one day to the other you need to vacate, you don't have where to live. As a parent, you cannot provide for your children. and then you are in crisis, your children see you in crisis. It is a very traumatic experience for them. So here at the Whole Child, we try to do everything we can to lessen, to flatten that curve of the traumatic experience that homelessness brings to them, and making sure that they're making felt as the dignified human beings that they are. It's very important for us.
Well, it's been great getting to know you. I can see where the passion and the energy comes from on there. You're a strong leader for it from that, and it comes across. And your folks, our folks, my folks, meaning our community, is being served wisely by you and your team that you've assembled.
You just like her because she went to UCLA.
Oh, that's
Don't
another thing
ruin.
too. Yeah. Okay, another high five. We got footballs on this game on there. So my wife went to USC, so we have a.
My
even
husband went to USC.
No, you're a mixed marriage too.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay, all right. But anyways, we're going to give you a tour. We'll put it at the end of this on there. But we can't thank you enough for today. We want to stay involved. Folks, we want to give as much information as we can. Please check them out. It's a worthwhile organization that I'm so proud is here in Downey. Like I said, when I was mayor, we used to give a token amount from our community development block grants. And I still didn't know. I knew you were in Whittier, and I know you served it. I found out more from the school district. And what you guys have done now is just amazing. You've blown this up in a good way, taking it to a different level. And I can see some of that is the passion that comes from you and the rest of your team. So this facilities, folks, was overtaken by homelessness on there. People didn't see it. It's on Florence. But we used to have a homeless problem here, sleeping in the back and so forth. And they've taken it. They've done an amazing job. And now they've taken it from a facility that was housing the homeless on the outside to making sure to try to prevent homelessness on the inside and reaching the families, our most vulnerable folks that we have in our community. So anyways, so God bless you. Any final things you'd like to say to our viewers on there and to make sure that
First,
they know?
again, thank you for having me today, and thank you to you and to everyone in the Downey community that supports the Whole Child. It is because of your support that we can do what we do for these families and the community. Thank you so much.
Hey,
said.
you want to say anything, sir?
No, I'm just very grateful that the Whole Child is here in Downey because, like you mentioned, I knew of the Whole Child, but I didn't really feel that connection. Now that you're here in Downey, and I know
It shouldn't be, but
it shouldn't be.
yeah.
But I feel more connected with the Whole Child now, and I hope more people become aware of what you do and ways of support.
And we have a reach outside of Downey, but folks, check it out, look at it. We hope today was informative for you. I was informed, I was enlightened. Good hearts, giving hands. That's one of the programs they got coming up, but there's so many different ways on there. I'm going to make sure that we in the organization I'm involved with make sure they help contribute this. So thank you so much for having us here. We appreciate you folks on there. Please listen, look at the end. We want to thank Financial Partners Credit Union, our main sponsors that makes this available. I'm going to be talking to them about helping the Whole Child too. Nader, their CEO, is amazing, and I'm proud of what they do too in our community. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This episode of Talking Downey with Mario
And Eric.